Hey everybody. Well, it's a beautiful May day here, and I was able to put that machine to work with my dad today. We hammered in 2,000 trees. And we don't just plant trees to plant trees, so let me show you what we were up to. Alright, so here's what we got going on. We have the bedding back there. There is a strip of food up there with a great stand that's up on top of the hill with the good bedding down in the bottom. I got switchgrass up over the hill screening in the bedding from that side, and I am adding spruce and pine on this side to enhance the bedding back in the timber. So what we did is, as I showed you, we used the tree planter. I love using the tree planter because it gets those roots nice and deep. With the dibble bar, you know, you're planting, I don't know, probably 6 inches deep. Well, maybe a little deeper than that. But the issue with that is you have to make sure that you trim your roots down so that they're up or vertical, so you don't get J rooting. Because if you plant that tree and you just shove the roots down in the hole, well, then the roots go like this and you get J rooting, and you know, eventually that tree will die. It won't die right away, but 5-6 years down the road, it's going to die. So you don't want J rooting. But with the tree planter, I mean, we're planting at least a foot deep, and when you put those trees in, it just sucks the roots right down. So you can see it just did a really nice job getting these trees planted. So what I did is I got spruce on the outside, and then up on the inside there are white pine. So the reason for that is I want the screening on the outside, and as I get closer to the bedding, I added the white pine so that that's also a bedding option for the deer. Because as I've talked about in other videos, thermal bedding is crucial, especially up here in Minnesota. And deer love the white pine because they can get up underneath it, but you know, once they're too mature, you can see right through them. Whereas if I add the spruce on the outside to screen that white pine, it just makes that bedding option that much better, because I have the spruce acting as a screen for the white pine, which, as you can see, are right here. So we got spruce, we got white pine. There's going to be a strip of switchgrass going right there. And then the good bedding is going to be up over here. I'll show you that. I want to show this quick. One way that I'm also making this bedding area even better is by killing buckthorn. You can see this is from last summer. I got a lot of buckthorn skeletons in here. I got native shrubs that are still growing in here, so we got rid of the buckthorn so the native plants can come and create that biodiversity that we're looking for on our farm. Another note with all these trees, so before we actually planted these trees, we came in and we sprayed clethodim for a couple of different reasons. One, spraying cleth is going to give these trees their best chance, because the clethodim is a grass-specific herbicide. So it's going to kill these grass. It's not going to hurt the trees at all. We did spray it prior to planting, but we could have came right over top and sprayed it right after planting. I actually did that on another spot where we hadn't had time to spray yet. But we sprayed the clethodim so we can kill the grass, and we're going to give these trees their best chance, because the grass sucks so much moisture. And that first year, the first couple years, we really want that root system to establish and go deep. And by being able to knock out this grass, we're going to give those trees their best chance. The other thing it's going to do is, by getting rid of the grass, this is all non-native grass, smooth brome and fescue. By killing the grass, we're going to release that seed bed, hopefully that native seed bed, and get some broadleaf plants coming. Hopefully get some woody stems coming. You can see mixed in this area, we do have some oaks. There's an oak. They get browsed heavily, so in order for the oaks to make it, I need to cage them. But there are some oaks that are starting to get past the browse line. So we'll have a nice little oak thicket. Here's the parent trees up here. But we spray the cleth, and it just gives all these trees and broadleaf plants a chance, because grass just sucks so much moisture, and it takes over that native seed bed. So down there is the bedding again. Up on the hill over there is where we planted the trees. Here's the switchgrass. You can see it sprung back up somewhat after the long winter we had. I mean, we had a ton of snow this winter, so the fact any of it's even standing is amazing. We also had an ice storm right before the snow, which snapped off a lot of it. But we got this big swath of screening right here. We're gonna have a big swath of screening right there. The deer will bed up on this edge of the switchgrass. As those trees grow, the deer will bed up on the edge of those conifers down there. And we still got the phenomenal bedding down here. So as a standalone spot, if we would have done nothing, there would have been a few deer bedding down here anyway. But because of all the work we're doing, this spot went from like a 5 to, honestly, when this is all blown up, this is going to be almost a 10 when it comes to bedding. It's literally got everything down here that the deer need, with good screening cover all the way around it, adjacent food that's easy for them to kick out to when they're hungry, lots of food in the bedding in the form of woody browse. I mean, this spot just is going to keep getting better and better and better, and that's because we're doing the work to make it better. So here is the cut. So I was in here last summer. There was a little bit of buckthorn down in here too. Cut the buckthorn. We're always looking to get rid of that buckthorn because it takes over a woodlot quickly. So the little bit that was in here was treated. Yeah, it was cover, but it's non-native garbage, so we want to get rid of it. I also did some cutting in here this winter. You can see that. Knocked some trees down, letting more sunlight in, releasing some nice oaks, and the deer have definitely responded. And I've shared it plenty in the past, but this has been a good bedding area for us. I've killed a couple bullbucks that have come out of this bedding area. I've seen some really nice bucks down in here that I haven't got a shot at. I do need to sprinkle. Another way I'm going to enhance this is sprinkle just a few conifers down in here. I got a couple of them in here, but the year I planted them was a dry year, so I think most of them died. You can see though, there's a few in here. I just want to have a few isolated conifers down in this thick bedding. But one of the best parts of this is all this regen that's coming in here. The deer absolutely love it. It works all the way up through there. And the big part of getting the regen was just knocking down some of these trees. And the trees that are still standing are my oaks. So the deer can sit in here early season, acorns raining down in the thick cover, totally secure. And that's why this bedding area just, it has everything, and we're just making it better with all the work we're doing. All right, super fun project today, getting those trees planted. I cannot wait to see what this particular bedding area will have in store for us this fall. It's always a good one. All right, you all take care. God bless.